All right. I'm sure that a lot of you have been super excited to watch one more AMA session. And we do understand that there's been more and more people who have been excited to come on our AMA sessions as well. So today we've come back with yet another live AMA session, which is going to be super power packed. We have Shikhar who's joining us today for this AMA session. And Shikhar is going to tell us a lot about his journey with Newton School and how he ended up at Newton School. But to give you a little bit of a hint into what Shikhar has done in life, in fact, to give you a fun fact, Shikhar is someone who's an MBA pass out. And despite of that, he decided that he wanted to pursue his love for coding and ended up at Newton School. I am super excited. I'm sure that you are too. Give me a thumbs up on the live chat, and we get started with asking Shikhar a lot of questions to know what Shikhar witnessed while he was making the first step towards his tech career. Thanks a lot, Shikhar, for joining us today. I'm super excited to talk to you, and I'll quickly jump onto a few questions that I want to ask you first. Our audience we'd encourage that you can ask questions to Shikhar as well. He'd be happy to answer those, and we'll take up them very shortly. Shikhar, thank you so much. Like I said, and just to get the conversation started, let me ask you my first question. I was talking to you and you told me that you've done MBA, and before that you had pursued your bachelor's in IT, right? I do want to understand from what space of thought that you came to Newton School after doing an MBA, where your possibilities of getting a job expanded in the stereotypical sense, right? How did you end up at Newton School then?
Okay, first of all, thank you for the opportunity, Gopi. And yeah, so while I was pursuing my MBA, the reason for going for MBA was that after doing my BTech, I knew the technical side of a product, how to make a product, how to make something. But since information technology, that branch is different from the CS1, we had 1 or 2 semesters subjects of management. And that was where I was like, dude, I need to learn about this thing, how to market your product, what you're making. So that was my reason for going for MBA. Once I was done with my MBA, I needed to brush up my coding because 2.5 years break it has been with coding and all. And since it's like so much to learn, it was from you anything, it's very difficult to start on your own and do something, and then getting a job after MBA into coding companies, product based companies, it's very difficult. So for that, one of my friends suggested that, dude, you want to get back into coding, join Newton School. It's like a 6 months boot camp. They have a structured course. They'll get you placed. They'll get you into product-based companies, and it's gonna be an amazing. So I went to the Newton's website, and I really liked the program and all. And then I signed up, and last year January my program began, and I've been loving it since then. So it was an amazing journey. Like in short, it was a very amazing journey. Helped me, like gave me timelines for everything. So the course was like 3 months DSA, 3 months web development. So I had sufficient time to learn almost every topic that was there and prepare for the companies.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. We have a lot of people on the live chat who are saying hi to us. And I think Shamesh, probably someone who's your friend, is saying hi to you personally. We have a few questions also coming in, but I am curious to know that, you said that you were trying to understand how the market works essentially while doing MBA, right? And you probably got an idea or a hint towards the fact that, okay, this is how the entire tech market works, right? How did that make you feel that Newton School will give you that opportunity, or Newton School will give you that space to get into the market in the right way?
See, if product-based companies have a particular set of requirements that they're expecting from a developer. Okay, getting into a SD position, developer position is very difficult for someone with a non-IT background per se. And since I was from an IT background, but after 2 years of MBA, I was out of touch with everything. So Newton School brought me into the phase where it gave me 6 months so that I can get back in touch with my entire development thing, technical aspect of it. and then preparing me for those interviews, and telling me guiding me throughout, okay, this is the requirement of the companies, this is what they expect from developers. So that is where Newton helped me, and of course bringing a lot of companies during placement time. So it that's an amazing opportunity which is very difficult for people out there looking for job on their own.
Got it. Shikhar, I'm more curious as and when we speak. I want to understand that, while you had already started your journey and you were at some level convinced as well that Newton School will help you, take this step forward. I want to understand, how was your day at Newton School? Like, how did the entire day look like? Can you take us through that journey once?
Okay, so the day at Newton School begins at 9 p.m. in the night. Okay, that is where the class starts. So 2 hours class it used to be, and then followed by a mentor session, or like a group mentor session, then personal mentor session. And then I used to like just go to bed, take some rest, get up in the morning, then go through my contents that were taught in the class yesterday, and then I used to plan my day. Okay, these are the topics that I need to work on today. This is the algorithms and all. So that is the kind of day typically I had, and along with that, it was my like last semester of management, so I had to like manage that as well. Yeah, that's about the routine part.
Got it. So, a lot of students who come to Newton School uh, are not from CS background.
Yeah,
And a lot of students, of course, there's a good mix of people who come to Newton School. And we know for a fact that anybody who wants to learn coding can come to Newton School. But Shikhar, I want to understand from you. You've mentioned that, in the 2 years of your MBA, you had that cutoff period where you were not as well connected to tech per
yeah.
se, right? Can you tell me, was the idea of learning DSA again, or taking up DSA in reality with all the practicality of it, was that did that make you nervous at any point of time? Was that scary for you?
See, it is challenging, agreed. It is demanding, agreed. But is it impossible? I don't think so. Okay, so like the timeline, way the course has been structured in Newton, so they give appropriate time to every topic that is out there in the DSA. Okay, let's take up the example of arrays, okay, or linked list. You have sufficient time to go through the classes, revise the recordings, and there's a lot of content out there on the internet as well. Go through it, prepare on your own material, solve questions. So Newton School platform has this amazing place where they have not just the assignment part, the separate DSA arena part, where they have a lot of questions that are sorted difficulty wise, easy, medium, and advanced level. So you first like try out easy questions, and then if you guys have any problem, like when I used to fail in some questions, I'm not able to pass all the test cases, so we used to have mentor sessions for that. Okay, so I would go to my mentor. I still remember his name was Jayesh sir. He was an amazing guy. Shout out to him. Thank you, buddy. Thank you a lot. So he used to like let me know that okay, this is the way. These are the test cases you might be missing. This is not what you're missing out. This is what you're missing out on basically. So DSA, yes, it is complicated. It is difficult, but 3 months, I think that is a good enough time for you to start from scratch. Doesn't matter if you are from an IT background, non-IT background, it simply doesn't matter. 3 months is good enough to prepare yourself for the company interviews, because you have this mock interviews. Okay, so in mock interviews we actually get to know like what is the interviewer demand. So you don't need to be a like a super scholar and super advanced array linked list guy. What do you in the mock interviews you understand, okay, this is the requirement, this is what I need to know. So you just then focus on those areas more which are interview sort of important from the interview perspective. So DSA is doable, but yes, it is difficult a little bit.
Got it. So I do understand that, this is to kind of brief on what you just said. I understand that you were a little worried about it. You were a little apprehensive
Yes,
towards
yes,
picking up DSA, but then with the help of your mentors and constant practice, um,
agreed.
you could kind of work your way around it, right? Um, that brings me to my next question, and that is, essentially, while people are doing their bachelor's, or when they're studying in their college, the focus on education is very theoretical,
Agreed.
right? And when you came to Newton School, what was the shift that you saw for the first time?
Okay, so even during the DSA portion, the first half of the journey, there was more emphasis on solving questions rather than just understanding the concepts and keeping them in your mind. That's not the important aspect. The focus was on like solving more and more problems. And in the second half of the journey, which was the web development part, that was to whole another ball game. It was a whole another world. Okay, there the entire focus was, okay, this is just the theory part. It's like not more than 10-15%. And now you need to go and implement this. Okay, see how HTML works, how CSS works, how JavaScript interacts with HTML and CSS. Okay, then building on top of this foundation of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, we have Node.js in the backend. We have React.js in the front end. So full 90% focus was there on the practicality. Okay, so like we were so much inspired and like asked to do as many projects as possible. So every other day, like whenever I used to have my mentor session, my mentor would ask me this, okay, so dude, so are you making any project? Are you implementing what you're learning in classes? And I used to show him, okay, bro, this is what I have done so far. This is what I'm trying to implement. This is what I'm facing problem with. And there I used to get respective help from my mentors. So yes, colleges, they are more focused on the theoretical aspect of any subject in the computer science domain. And Newton School is like more of implementing. Okay, you know theory, good. Now, how do you implement it? That's the real question. So that is where the focus was in Newton School.
Got it, got it. So we have a lot of people asking us a question, and that is, I think Wasim, Sandesh, a lot of people are asking us, what is it to be like a beginner at Newton School? To answer your question, I think what Shikhar has also been saying, he started his journey essentially after a 2 year of MBA, where he was also cut off from tech, and he also did not have a lot of exposure to practicality of coding, like the real space where you're actually coding and making things. So Newton School's program is designed in a way that you will have holistic growth with actually practicing every day. And that is for someone who's a CS background student or a non-CS background student, it stands true. You will learn coding only when you're practicing every day. And that's what Newton School helps you do. Coming back to our questions, Shikhar, I'm excited that you've had like a very nice euphoric journey where you've learned a lot of things. You've started taking up things, your projects around DSA. You're also trying to do things that are scary at some level, but then you're able to kind of get a hang of it. But I am sure that there'll be a time where you might have felt demotivated at some point of time, or felt that is this the real track? Like, is this the right journey that I'm onto? Did you feel that way at any point of time, and how did you kind of get out of that?
Okay, so this might come out as unbelievable, but my journey, like I joined Newton School in January. January was cool, February was cool, but then things started getting complicated. Things like topics, we were having dynamic programming and all of those things, and then web development started. Plus, I was also managing my MBA thing that was there, and I had my rough patch back then. Like life was a bit tough for me. So during that phase around March, when I was having my MBA exams and I had to manage Newton as well, I had a nervous breakdown sort of thing. I was not able to cope up at all. I was even on meds for some time. I was visiting psychiatrist or like every 15 days or something. And at one point of time, my psychiatrist asked me to just leave everything for a month and just take rest and get well soon, and then hustle back again and then strive towards everything again. So I got in touch with support team from Newton. I told them, dude, I need to take like at least 15 to 20 days of break. So that was where classes were going on and I was out of touch again with the classes and I was getting behind. And with every passing day, it was very tough to manage. Like it seemed like, I don't know, will I be able to make it through the placement session? Will I get placed or not? Every day was very tough. I remember, especially after this, when I joined back again in April. Now DSA was over, and web development, I missed 2 weeks of classes of web development as well. And every day at 5 o'clock in the evening, I would go up to my terrace. I would call up a friend of mine. Shout out to him, Chitrarth bro, Chaitanya bro. You have been there. Okay. So I would call them up, and we would talk like for 30, 40 minutes, and they would like pump me up, and it would be there that so every the React JS started. I was not clear on the JavaScript part, and then React is like built on top of JavaScript, so it is way more complicated, and it was very difficult to cope up. So all like my entire day, I was just focused on this thing. Okay, I'll do the class, I'll watch some more YouTube videos, read a lot of blogs as much as possible. Slowly I'll get through it. Slowly, like I just like actually I kept on hustling every day, and it was just so dark at one point of time during May, I guess. I gave 3 JavaScript mocks week after week, and I failed in all 3 JavaScript mocks. I even remember the interviewer what they said in the third JavaScript mock. She was like, "Dude, I have interviewed you before in DSA. You were pretty good back then. So JavaScript, you're doing good, but I would still give a no from my end because I expect you to do better." I was like, "Dude, I need a yes so much right now." And she was like, "No bro, you gotta work more on this thing." You and every mock interview I used to get a detailed feedback on where I was missing out on, what I was missing out on. And that was the best part. Now at least I knew, okay, async await is the part I am not clear on, promises I'm not clear on, prototypal inheritance I'm not clear on. So that is what I would ask to my mentors. That is what I would ask, go on YouTube, search, watch videos, read blogs about. So yes, it March to May and June end, it was very tough. Once I started clearing my marks, JavaScript marks were then done. Then React was also okay. After like initial 3 weeks, 4 weeks of React, me and my friend who was also in Newton, we used to talk to each other, and we were like, "Dude, what is this? How we are going to make through it, dude? We are doing such a big mistake." We like MBA was better, bro. I could have taken just an MBA job. I'm not supposed to do this right. So like initially, so 2 weeks in React, yes, I was not getting anything, but then slowly, things started to unfold, make sense, and just concepts started to settle down in my mind. Okay, this is how the components work. This is what hooks essentially is. Because I did not do any web development in my college. Okay, I was very much against web development. I was like, bro, I don't like web development in college. I was more of machine learning guy, but not of web development. So React and JavaScript all were completely new to me, completely new. From that perspective, I was a non-technical guy as far as JavaScript and React were and Node were concerned. So that was it. And once the mocks started clearing, then I gained some confidence. Okay, now I can do it. So after mid-June and July onwards, July I was like, okay, now I can make it. Now I was pretty sure. I remember even my mom once she said like, you need to get placed before September if you want more food and accommodation. I was like, dude, I'm confident I'll get placed by August mid. And by August mid I got placed. Like I had a rough idea that okay, 1 month Node and MongoDB is gonna take, and I'll cover up. And during the so when I missed out on that some classes in March, I was just getting behind in the assignments, in the mock, and the batch was moving forward. So somebody from Newton School called me up, reached out to me, and they were like, "Dude, uh, do you think you need some extra help? And are you missing out on some basics?" I was like, "Yes, seriously." So they were like, "We are starting a booster batch, and those guys who need some extra like brushing up and some extra classes on these topics, we are having a separate batch for them." And I was like, this sounds good. Okay, put me in. And then they kept me in the booster batch. So booster batch was like 1 month behind from the normal batch. And that was amazing. In the second half of that booster batch around Node and React, there was this instructor, I remember, Tirth Shah sir. Shout out to that guy. Another amazing guy, inspired, changed my life forever. Every day his energy was so amazing, such awesome. Every day I would be like, bro, 9 p.m, Tirsha is going live, we need to be there. So that 2 months I still remember, like mid July and August, I would be so excited for every class. I would be so excited. And the way he used to teach everything, like throttling, debouncing, I still remember them clearly. So that was amazing. So yes, the journey was exactly like a roller coaster. Started good and then just came down, kept on going down. and then eventually, like, you have this Dunning-Kruger graph effect also. Okay, so you seem very confident early, and then you go down, and then it comes back up. So it was like that, an amazing journey. But the best part of the entire journey was there was constant support from the Newton school. Like, I was having like mentors were also changed from time to time, because you and with every new mentor I was getting different kind of inputs. Okay, so this is also what is important, this is what the industry expects you to be, so learn this, read this. So a few of the instructors also told me about some development blogs. I did not know about that before that. So I started reading blogs on JavaScript and all, and that also helped a lot. So yeah, it was an amazing journey.
I'm so glad to hear this, and this actually sounds like you're so passionate about the journey that you have had. I'll quickly talk about the interviews that you had given, because you were prepared. It looks like you were ready with all the mock interviews and the rejections at a lot of times, and then kind of working things out. It seems that you were ready to give your interviews. And how did that go for you? How were the companies that came to kind of interview, and how did that process, because I'm sure that even that process is daunting in itself. So how was the interview process for you?
Okay, so every mock interview, the interviewer would ask some set of questions. Okay, and then at the end, after the interview, we used to get those set of sessions and the answers we gave for them, and along with the correct answer that we should have given. And sometimes, if it is a descriptive one, it would be there like, okay, you need to learn this. And after giving some like 15-20 marks, like, we were so encouraged to, you won't believe this. Okay, so every time there was this person, Shivangi, she was so amazing. Shout out to her as well. Okay. So they used to come and they would be like, dude, give as many marks you guys want, as many as possible. And we were like, how come is it possible? As many marks, and it is still free. We haven't paid even a, so it felt so bad at a lot of times. I did not ask for marks because I was like, dude, I'm taking too much favor from these guys. It's so weird, man. You should take at least something, and then you give me infinite marks. It's good. So every mock I used to get proper feedback, and once those mock part was done, when I started getting interviewed by the companies that were coming to, I noticed a sort of pattern that more or less I was prepared for the kind of questions the companies asked. Okay, I knew, okay, this is the expectation of the company, and I had already given those, like, Newton School marks and actual company interviews. They are not at all different. That is my experience. I cannot tell them which one was a company mark, which a company interview, or which one was a mark. This is one big thing. Okay, so I was completely prepared because of the marks that I had the opportunity to appear in. And after that, company interviews felt pretty much a cakewalk, pretty much like it would be just another regular call, like we are having this AMA session right now. Okay, we'll just have a laptop, have a video call session or an audio call. They would ask question, and I would be able to answer some of them. And it is not the questions that you know matter, it is the questions that you don't know that matter. Because let's say first question interview asks something and you don't know, and your entire, let's say he asked 10 questions after that, but your mood is off, now you're feeling demotivated. Mock interviews prepared me for that, because there were some marks, they asked me 10 questions, I did not know 8 of them, 9 of them. So they kind of prepared me for that. Even if you don't know, just face every new question with the same energy. Okay, every question is different, so it does not even matter like if you have not answered a few questions, because the ones that you answer after the ones that you have not answered, they matter a lot. Because don't miss out on the questions that you know just because you missed out on a previous question or a thing that did not. So, and on exactly the same lines, I had this company interview, and they asked me, it was a 45-minute long interview. They asked me so many things, and most of them I did not know. Most of them, they asked me some technical stuff from the tech stack their company was using, and some advanced stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't know this. Okay, dude, I don't know this. Okay, I don't know this. Then he asked me, okay, I know this. Also, object oriented programming is this, functional programming is that. So I was able to answer questions even after I was saying no to 5 or 6 or 7 questions. And surprisingly, that company selected me. I was like, dude, why are you selecting me? I said no to most of your questions. But we as a student, we don't know what the company is expecting from you when they're asking. Maybe it was just a stress interview, like they were putting you under stress and seeing how you behave accordingly. So that is there. So mock interviews and company interviews, they're pretty much the same thing, like it's not much of a difference.
Superb. Just out of curiosity, how do you remember how many mock interviews you gave?
Yeah, more than 25, 30 probably. More
Oh,
than that. Yeah,
and
like
yeah,
a rule of thumb was every topic I want to give at least 3 to 4 to 5 interview, mock interview.
awesome, awesome. And I now just want to know, with again the same curiosity, what was that feeling when you finally knew that you've got placed, and you are now going to start working with Vajra?
Okay, so my last interview happened around Friday, it was 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it was a cultural fit interview. I did not know what the interviewer was expecting from me, even though like I had 5 6 calls from Newton guys doing pep talk, do's and don'ts for the HR interview, and I was pretty much prepared for it, but still the interview like threw me out of my comfort zone, and it was good one. But I don't know why I had this feeling, okay man, I crossed 3 or 4 interviews for Vajro, I cleared the written technical aspect, but I missed out on this job and I'll have to restart the process and I don't know when I'll get placed. For 1 hour, till the 1 hour in which I did not get the confirmation that I was selected in Vajro, I was like sinking like anything. My heart was sinking. I was like, dude. And the moment I got a call from Newton, okay, you have been selected in Vajro. They'll be rolling out your offer letter on Monday morning. And congratulations, dude, you made it. And we are so proud of you. And I just went to my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm going to my like mother's place. It's their Raniket, like it's a hill station. 15 days. I took some books with me. I went there. I was like, dude, now I'm settled for life. So I came back only before joining Vajro. Then I just chilled. It was so relaxing. It was so relaxing. It was actually like heaven. Those 15 days, best 15 days of my life so far. Completely rewarding.
Superb, superb. This is super amazing. I'm so glad that you spoke to us about your journey. So, frankly, there are a lot of people on the live chat who are appreciating the kind of conversation that you had with us. And thank you so much for making time for us today, Shikhar, and talking to us. I'm really proud of you and the kind of achievements you have done. I know you're going way ahead. So, thank you so much.
Pleasure is all mine, and thanks a lot. And thanks to the Newton guys. Kudos, and especially Shivangi ma'am and Tirth sir. Thank you guys. You
Thank
have
you.
been an amazing
I'll
support.
pass that on to them.
Yeah, definitely. Please.
That. Thank you.